रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतिये नमः. Sundarakand, chapter number 33, Sita's reply. If possible, after listening to this chapter, please offer the deities some special fruits or sweets. The recitation begins now. Maruti of bright radiance came down from the tree and drew near the lady Sita with utmost reverence. His face of the complexion of coral, he joined his palms above his head and laid himself on the ground at her feet. Her sorrow echoed itself in his heart a millionfold, so he addressed her in accents sweet and soft. O thou of eyes lovely as the petals of the blown lotus, O thou of matchless perfection every way, who might thou be? Thou present to me a situation all incongruous as thou stand with thine arm on the bough of the tree and clad in ragged garments of silk. What causes the flood of tears from their eye as they chase one another over thy cheeks, like water drops scattered from the lotus leaf? Their eyes are fitted to be adorned with tears of joy. Then whose race is doomed to destruction, that they are dimmed with tears of grief? Who art thou of the rangers of the heavens, gods, asuras, gandharvas, rakshasas, yakshas, and kinnaras? Thy looks proclaim thee as one of the heavenly apsaras. Who art thou of the clan of Rudras, Maruts, Vasus, and other shining ones? Do I see before me the lady Rohini, the best and noblest of the asterisms, and endowed with every perfection, come down to the mortal world from the side of her lord, the moon? O thou, the source of everything auspicious and holy, who art thou? Might it be that the sacred Arundhati herself has come down among us from her abode on high, having offended her lord, the Maharishi Vashishta, through anger or ignorance? Dost thou grieve for thy dear departed sons, brothers, or husband? I decide that thou cannot be a heavenly nymph, in that thy tears flow ceaselessly, in that thou heavest hot sighs, and in that thy feet rest on the earth. Royal excellences vie with one another to find a place in thee. Thy perfect limbs and the lines that grace thy palms and soles bespeak thee as nothing less than a queen or a princess. Or if it is so happens that thou art the very lady Sita, spirited away from Janasthana by the unholy Ravana, then may all good go with you and everything auspicious. My heart yearns to know the truth about thee. Pray deign to enlighten my ignorance. It is rare, almost impossible for one to come upon such perfection of beauty and such unspeakable grief. Thou art clad in the guise of the hermits of the forest, so I decide beyond a doubt that thou must be the dear wife of my lord Rama. Janaki heard him out patiently. Her heart overflowed with joy at the news of Rama, and she spoke back to Anjaneya, who stood at the foot of the tree. There moved among men a king by name Dashratha, the best and noblest of kings and heroes, and was deeply versed in the mysteries of the wisdom of the self. And I am proud to call myself his daughter-in-law. The great one Janaka, the ruler of the Videhas, calls me his daughter, and I am the beloved wife of my Lord Rama of mighty intellect. They call me Sita. I abode with Raghava for twice 6 years, enjoying to the full everything that this earth could give to a person in the way of comforts and luxuries. My life was one long dream of happiness, and I did not want for anything. In the 13th year of my abode at Ayodhya, the king and Maharishi Vashishta took counsel together, and it was decided that Raghunatha should be crowned as heir apparent. Mighty preparations thereto were on foot when the lady Kaikeyi, the favorite wife of Dashratha, said to him, If it so chances that the crown rests on the brow of Rama, take it from me that my lips are a stranger to drink and food. I go to seek comfort in the arms of death. Recall to your memory the boons that you, of your own accord, conferred on me through gratitude and love. Prove true to your word and send Rama away from the kingdom to the dark forests. Now Dasharatha was the soul of truth. The words of Kaikeyi were most bitter to him. Yet he bethought himself of his word he had passed to her, and his heart was rent in twain. He was old, very old. He was the guardian of truth and duty. He cried aloud in dark despair and called unto him his firstborn, the Lord Rama of spotless fame. Rama, this kingdom of Ikshvaku is yours by hoary tradition, by your absolute fitness for it, and by my sacred promise to yourself. Yet I beg it of you now. My Lord was so fashioned by nature that his spirit and enthusiasm and happiness and splendor rose higher the more he was assailed by what would bring misery and weakness to the ordinary men of the world. He decided unto himself that it was higher and more becoming to carry out the promise of his father than rule over this broad kingdom. Sire, he replied with joined palms of reverence, to hear is to obey. For it was a rule of life that he set before himself. He holds in trust everything he has but to give it to him who asks for it. He falters not. He would not take back even the wherewithal to maintain himself. He would not speak a word to ruffle the happiness of those that brought him into the world. For he was no ordinary man, but a mighty warrior, whose anger and favor is never in vain. So he took off his royal robes and priceless ornaments. He mentally put away from himself the crown that was his by right. He laid his word upon me to abide with his mother, the Lady Kaushalya. Verily, the countless worlds are too narrow to contain his fame. And is it not strange that I should even dream of leaving his side, be it to dwell in the highest heavens? So I made my arrangements to dwell with him in the woods and went before him. His brother Lakshmana clad himself in a garment of bark, even as Rama, whom he resolved to follow to the ends of the world. Thrice fortunate was he, and the soul of delight to his friends, the son of the noble lady Sumitra, whose law of life was to devote himself entirely to the service of Ramachandra. He rejoiced, strangely enough, that there was a hitch in the coronation of Rama, for it gave him the dearest wish of his heart. He had vowed unto himself to render loving service to his brother at all times and under all conditions. When the Lord Vishnu came down among men for their good and peace and happiness, Lakshmana monopolized the priceless privilege of service to him, that Bharata, myself, and even yourself could never even dream of. He was a darling son of the Lady Sumitra, whose last words to him were he not born to follow Rama to the woods and be his servant? His friends rejoiced in the good fortune of their beloved Lakshmana, though they themselves were denied of it. We left Ayodhya behind us by the orders of King Dasharatha, resolved to lead the life of hermits in the trackless woods. They were utterly strange to me, this dark and fearful forest of Dandaka. We abode there for many years, and one day Ravana, out of utter ignorance of boundless might of Rama, was impelled out of his wicked heart to carry away myself, dearest to Rama's heart. 2 months yet remain of the limit he has set to me to yield to his wishes, and I will not survive it. Mangalam Koshalendraya Mahaniya Gunavte Chakravarti Dhanurjaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam.